In my last two videos, I discussed the first two rules of improvisation. Rules that every writer needs to know because they apply to writing too, and every person needs to know because they apply to life. The first rule was, show me, don't tell me. The second was, yes, and. The third is play the moment. This is a vitally important rule and one many authors fall short on. Every author has strengths and weaknesses. One of my biggest strengths, and something I get complimented on by readers, is that nothing ever seems forced in my stories. I don't have contrived plot devices, and I don't have my characters do things that feel out of character. I am told that my stories are not predictable, but are very true to my worlds and characters. This is because I understand the concept of playing the moment. In improvs, I've gone onto stage before with other actors who have an idea for where they want to go with the scene and are not flexible at all. This is a problem. If there are two actors doing an improv and one of them gets an idea for the scene and the other follows, that works fine. But what happens when they both get an idea and neither will drop their idea and follow the other? The scene is no good. So, when doing improv comedy, one of the rules is to play the moment. This means that instead of forcing the scene into a preconceived notion, the actors have to be willing to change their idea as the scene develops. Remember, yes, and? Being flexible and not forcing the scene to go a certain direction follows from that. So, how does this apply to writing? Too many authors outline their entire book before starting and keep to that outline even if they have to make the characters do things they wouldn't really do or make the villain not take a shot he would take. I've read so many books where I've asked, why didn't they just? And the honest reason is that it would mess up the outline. After all, the main couple isn't supposed to get together until chapter 21, or the villain isn't supposed to capture the hero until chapter 19. Never force a story into a preset outline. It makes for very contrived and forced writing. I read someone advising writers to write the last chapter of the book first so they would know what they were headed to in the book. I could not disagree with this more than I do. Do not force your story to a set ending. In another video, I'll address how to develop plots and get the story to follow a drama curve, how to be true to your characters, and how to get a great story that isn't forced. Yes, there does need to be some plan for what is going to happen, but as my father used to say, plan is what you do if nothing else happens. In this video, I am only trying to introduce you to the idea of playing the moment. Let the characters do what they actually would. Let the villain do what he would. If the villain has a clean shot, have him take it. If the hero wouldn't do what you were planning on, let him do what he actually would. I have so many times stopped typing and told my family, they did it again, meaning the characters in my book. I wasn't expecting them to do that and have no idea how to get them out of the situation they are in now. Too many authors want to keep their characters on a set path, forcing them to do things that way to keep with their plan. But the best stories have a life of their own. The characters drive the story, and letting those characters be true to themselves and challenging us as authors to work with that is not only an incredible adventure for an author, but it makes great stories. I love that writing is an act of discovery, not just me writing down planned events. Again, I'm not saying to have no plan. The author needs to always know the villain's plan, particularly his next move. But plans can and should change according to what the characters do. I've had so many books do that. I've started a book and had only a vague idea of how it would end. Good guys win, bad guys lose. I've had ideas for books where I thought I knew how it was going to end, and it didn't end anything like that. And I'm glad, because the story came out much better than I originally imagined. One book that comes to mind is a novel called The Nameless. It is an intense dystopia. The idea was given to me by my daughter, and when I started writing it, I had the idea that one of the nameless through all the torment he had to go through, was going to keep hope by watching the girl he loved throughout the book, even though he wasn't allowed to talk to her, and they would get married at the end. Don't worry, there is not a bit of spoiler in that. That is nothing like the book happened. As I said, The Nameless is an intense dystopia. I'm glad I changed it. How I just described it sounds really schmaltzy, and it's not. When I started writing it, I figured out, no, that boy and girl wouldn't be good together, and went an entirely different direction with the book. I'm always afraid to give spoilers, so I won't tell more than the secrets of The Nameless are dark, but the book isn't written in an overall dark tone, so it can appeal to readers like me. Be warned, it's intense. My point is that the concept for the book when I started writing it entirely changed because I let the characters do what they would do, and they took the book a different direction than I expected. I am so glad they did. Forcing the book into my preconceived notion wouldn't have made as good of a story. Now, someone out there may criticize and say, sticking to your plan is good, you just need to plan out every detail. Honestly, that's impossible. If you are forcing characters in a path, sure, you can plan what they will do, but as an author, you can and should get to know the characters better as you write them and learn what they would do better than when you were originally planning the book. Play the moment. Let the characters do what they really would. There are always flaws in the plan for a story. No outline is perfect. Let the characters play the moment, and the story will be better for it. Okay, I've explained how playing the moment is useful in improvisation and in writing. How does it apply to life? As I've said before, life is not scripted. Things happen in life all the time that don't go according to our plans. I know my life doesn't. This is one of the reasons I like math. It's the only thing in life that works as it's supposed to. Life does not go as planned, so we need to play the moment. We need to be ready to face what happens, not despair because it doesn't go as planned, not freak out because we don't know what to do now, which I'm pretty good at, and not give up because the path to our goal has changed. We can't control other people, only ourselves. People aren't going to follow our plans. At times, they are going to do very wrong and hurtful things. We must adjust and deal with whatever happens. I know that's not easy, but trials can either break us or be used to strengthen us and refine us. Christ can always take a trial and turn it to our good, to help us grow and be better people. Your plan may be altered, but keep hope that you can reach your goals. That wraps up the third rule, play the moment. The next video will discuss the fourth rule of improv, be believable. So go on to it, but don't forget to like this one first and subscribe to my channel. I'd love for you to leave a comment too. Thanks for watching.